Hey, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got another race video. This time it's the Dinnington Dynamo road race over in the small town of Dinnington, no less. This is the first time I've done this race, and actually it's the first time I've been able to do a road race with a camera on board. So yeah, I get to show you how things went down. It's 11 laps of about 5-mile course, and yeah, it was marketed as definitely one for the sprinters. Yeah, about that. So yeah, we turned up that morning, decided to do like a quick drive around the course to kind of recce it, and we quickly realised this was, yeah, we've been missold. We've definitely been missold, PPI. This was not a race for the sprinters. Yeah, the course looked like it was going to be a little bit more tough and probably was going to split up at some point, and it did. Yeah, we're joining the switch the GoPro on about an hour into the race, so we kind of missed the kind of formation of the break. So yeah, there's currently 8 guys up the road. So yeah, originally I think it was a break of about 4, and the peloton worked kind of well to kind of bring that back, and I think the gap was down to about about 3 seconds or so, and then the guys that were obviously clearly strong and pulling the peloton along managed to then bridge across and there form that kind of 8-man break. I then kind of moved to the front. I think I've been sitting quite far back because I didn't really want to get into a break and stuff. So yeah, I've been sitting quite far back in the group, and then yeah, because like our club had missed the break, said me and Sam decided to try and try to help kind of pull the brake back again, but yeah, only managed to get like about 4 or 5 people working, and yeah, 4 or 5 people against the kind of 8 people up the front working well together. That was never really going to come back. So after about a lap or so of chasing, yeah, I gave up and kind of sat back, and this is where we're at. So I think now the group is around about 20 riders, or less than 20 riders, with 8 riders up the front. So that's all that's left of the peloton, about 20 riders or so. This climb, which we just come up now, is it's like 3 different kind of ramps, or maybe 4 ramps, with kind of like false flat in between. So but yeah, it's just kind of definitely saps the energy out of you by the top, and then there's a long descent down past the start finish straight, which was nice and fun, and then a sharp kind of left hand turn, and then it's back into kind of a false flat climb up to this little village, and then it's kind of like a really elongated kind of chicane through the village, and then a short run to another kind of sharp left 90 degree left-hander, and then back into that hill. On top of that, it was absolutely blowing a gale, and especially just after the first couple of sections of the hill, kind of steep ramps, there's then a false flat section through kind of an exposed field, and the wind was kind of on that first part of that it's a really tough kind of like really strong crosswind, and you're pretty much riding directly in a gutter, and then it turns into a headwind up for the final bit of the climb. But yeah, I think the wind was definitely a major factor in what made this race so hard. So we're now coming up to I think it's 5 laps to go. Just crossing the line there, 5 laps to go. And so far, since doing that kind of work a couple of laps ago to kind of help kind of pull back that brake, since then I've been kind of sitting quite far back in the group, near the back, just trying to shelter as much as possible from the wind, and just keep nice and fresh and stuff, because inevitably it is going to kick off again in this group as people realise that break is gone, and they're going to be trying to kind of get away and try and bridge across maybe. But there is a bit of a downside with this kind of tactic of sitting quite far back in the group in a road race. So as you probably just saw there, a car going on the opposite side of the road. So these aren't closed roads. So yeah, we're kind of only racing on the kind of left-hand side of the road in a kind of like race bubble. So we've got like a comms car up ahead of the break, and then we've got a couple of comms cars behind us, and then NEG kind of like motorbike riders kind of riding through the bunch, around the bunch, and kind of closing off the roads. And so each junction is closed, but not the roads in between aren't closed. So if you're overtaking like these guys are here on the right hand side, obviously there could be a car coming the opposite way round, coming the opposite way. So you got to be kind of looking out for that. So if someone does kind of make a move or an attack, and you're sitting this far back, it can be quite hard to kind of react to those moves, and get in a good position to kind of you're kind of relying on other people to react in front of you, so you can kind of move forward, because you can't just be jumping around the bunch, because there's actually not that much room. There's like 2.5 meters of space really you got to be working with, it can be quite difficult when and it can be quite difficult to even see moves kind of going off the front, and you can kind of think, oh, you could be sitting here pretty thinking everything's fine, and actually further down the road people have already broken away from the bunch, and you're definitely none the wiser. And that's exactly what's happening here. I can't see it from my kind of viewpoint in the group, but there's a couple of guys already making a move off the front of the bunch, but you can't really tell from looking at the people back here. No one's really reacting, and that's kind of what happens when what are we, like 1 hour 15 into the race, and everyone's a little bit tired and fatigued, and people aren't going to react with the kind of same kind of ferocity they would like in a crit race or such. Like coming through here, the already gaps are opening towards the front of the group, and I'm right at the back. I think I might even be last man. Maybe there might be 1 or 2 people in there behind me, and I still don't think I've really realised that that people have attacked off the front, and I'm not trying to close onto that wheel as quickly as I probably should do. I was at this point feeling a little bit fatigued, so quite happy that the couple of people who are still behind me have noticed that and closed that gap, made it a little bit easier for me to get back into the group. But I really struggled with that little section. So through the village, through that kind of chicane, and then that short run to this 90-degree left-hander. I really needed this little short bit of downhill to kind of get back into the group. Maybe I was missing that kind of like top end or something. I just couldn't really punch like above like 800-900 watts out of those corners. It was just really kind of taking a lot out of me to stay in the wheel. Maybe I was going a little bit too much speed into the corners, and maybe not like carrying that speed through it. I don't know what it was, but I've really struggled with it. Luckily it was a headwind on this section, and I was able to kind of like freewheel kind of back into the back of the group as they kind of slowed up up front. But like as I was saying just a second ago, like I think the group's all together, but no, there's still I think two guys up ahead, it starts to kick off a little bit. I think if people start to panic a little bit, they're getting away. So now on to one of those the first of those steep ramps, and as you can see, people are really struggling to kind of hold the wheel, me included. And gaps are starting to open up, and more and more people are making it across to that little bridge attempt. At the moment, I'm not panicking too much because still in the group, and people are still motivated to kind of help pull us back. But as more and more people lose the wheel and people try to bridge across, panic is definitely sunk in. I'm doing spiked up to about 600 watts there, 450. Got Ollie and Rich from my club, doing their best to kind of pull it back, but they're not making real inroads. So I decided to go to the front. 800 watts. This is a tough effort. But I'm thinking the quicker I get onto that wheel, the better. And then I'll be able to get a bit of recovery hopefully in the wheels. But as I get across to on this kind of like false flat section, which is into a bit of a headwind, this guy's lost the wheel, so I've had to go straight past him. and yeah, that gap just doesn't seem to be closing, and again it kind of starts to kind of pick up again, the kind of gradient, and I'm literally on the limit, but yeah, no one's going past me, so I've got to, well actually this guy comes past me, comes flying past me, trying to get across, but yeah, I've just, at this point, all I've got to do is I've got to just work on my own effort and try and get there in the most efficient way possible. Yeah, because if I just, I'm at like max heart rate here, and if I try and do a big effort like these guys are doing to try and get across, I'm just gonna absolutely blow my doors, and even if I did get in there, I'll be straight out the back again. So it's all about damage limitations here, and yeah, as well, the other thing is, if I just kind of sprinted across there, I'm gonna, my two kind of club mates and stuff, I'm gonna be putting them straight out the back, and they're not really helping them. So more of a consistent effort across is going to help them get back in as well. So yeah, even if I'm kind of sacrificing myself here, hopefully we'll have at least one person, getting back into that group. After what felt like an absolute eternity, finally someone else pulls through, so I can try and get a bit of recovery. But yeah, I was absolutely done here. I think I did maybe 2-3 minutes on the front there, trying to pull it back. And then yeah, just before what we've got, maybe like 150 meters left of this climb, and yeah, I'm pretty much blowing my doors here. I am struggling, like nobody's business. So yeah, I can't even hold the wheel here, and then I'm just praying that one of my club mates manages to pull through and get it through. So yeah, Ollie comes through, which is means that I've pretty much have done my job there. Even if I had to, like I said, sacrifice myself, at least one person is back in that group. Because there was 3 of us originally in that kind of group of 20, and if we all 3 of us went out the back, that would be a travesty, really. Now, if it was a kind of false flat section again after that ramp, I think that would have been my my day done. But luckily for me, it's pretty much we turned into a kind of cross tailwind here, and it's a long downhill now for a good couple of minutes. So I'm able to get a bit of recovery, begin that kind of chase to kind of get back into the group. One thing I kind of noticed is that I was able to kind of take this ascent much faster than the guys were doing at the front of the peloton. So I wasn't panicking too much here. I'm just kind of continuing to kind of manage my effort, try and bring that heart rate down a little bit. And then I'm going to start pushing again to try and get back in the group, because hopefully I'll be able to get back into the group before it turns back onto that false flat section. So I made it back into the group on that kind of false flat section, and back into this little village. And it seems like I've learned from my mistake from the lap before, and again managing to kind of hold the wheel a little bit better through those the corners. Kind of trying to stay in this group and not get dropped before the climb even starts. Skipping forward a lap, and I finally realised that sitting near the back of the group is probably not doing me any favours. On that last lap, going up the hill again, it kicked off, and I was left in the mercy of the guys in front of me to kind of pull it back. Luckily they did, and I was able to kind of stick with the group. So using this downhill to kind of to move up the group. Obviously my weight allows me to go a little bit faster than some of these lightweight guys down the hill, but also I just didn't understand it. The wind was coming over our kind of right shoulders, and everyone was kind of sat in the middle of the road, leaving so much space down the inside there to move up. So I was using that quite often in the race, just basically not having to put any power out at all, just getting a little bit of a tuck and a little bit of an aero tuck, and moving up like 3 or 4 places on every descent. So just use that to my advantage on this lap, getting up into kind of like the first 4 or 5 positions, which gives you a little bit more of a view of what's coming up in the road, but also like bit more of a space to kind of react to any attacks going, which will make things a little bit more easier for me, allowing me to react a bit better. So yeah, this time up the climb, I was much closer to the front, which was great because it allowed me to kind of react quicker to kind of anyone putting any upping of the pace and stuff. But yeah, what I didn't kind of realise was I didn't know if it was a bit. Yeah, it turned out to be a lot warmer than I was expecting. It was forecast to rain through this race, so which would have made it a little bit different. But actually, it was quite warm, so I didn't really get my kind of hydration quite right, and I didn't really put any like electrolytes or anything in my bottles and stuff. I didn't think it was gonna be that warm. And about this point, I started feeling that my quads were going to start cramping up, and I just couldn't get out of the saddle. So yeah, even I'm able to put like 400-500 watts up there out, I just wasn't able to I didn't have that punch. I just really didn't have that punch, and I'm just every single time I went to go and stand up, I just I was cramping, and I felt like I was gonna cramp. So yeah, I'm just sat down hoping that would pass, and that I'd be able to get back into it. But yeah, I'm pretty much just going backwards and backwards, really suffering, because it's annoying because I had the energy, I just didn't feel that I could get out of the saddle and push anymore. Luckily, this feeling did pass. It was only like momentary, but unfortunately, it was like the worst point where people were kind of attacking, and I was able to kind of get back on the power again, but albeit seated, and not standing. I was able to get back on the power, but unfortunately, look, the gap is already opened up, and it's going to be struggling again to kind of close that solo. Get back into the group. But yeah, again, because I did it previously on the downhill, I thought if I could just hold the gap here from to the top of the climb, then I should be able to get back on the descent. Approaching the top of the climb, and you can just see that the end of the bunch has just gone around this corner. So I'm only like 3 or 4 seconds off the back of the bunch. Managed to kind of close the gap a little bit on the last bit of that climb. They're maybe 50-60 meters up ahead of me, so not too far. I'm not panicked here. Definitely think I'm going to get back into the group by the bottom of this descent. Just kind of. But then the comms cars come past me. Like, it was only 50-60 meters, and the comms car come through, which. So the commissaire thinks I'm out the back and I'm not getting back in. So they inadvertently give me a bit of a tow to kind of close this gap. They really helped me out here. But they also were a little bit of a hindrance as well. So onto the steeper part of the descent, and I'm able to get past one of the comms cars. It's like very narrow. There's still cars coming in the opposite direction, and you can just see the bunch is just up in front of me, and this other guy's kind of getting dropped from the group. But I've just got to make that decision to get past, because they're going to start slowing down because this person's getting dropped. But I need to keep on the power. I need to keep on the speed, because if I brake going into that corner behind that car, behind the comms car, then I'm going to lose all my momentum, and it's going to less likely that I'm going to get back into the group. Luckily, it didn't impact me too much, and I was able to get back into the back of the group, no problems. But there could have been a different story, especially if there was more traffic coming on the other side of the road. I would have been absolutely screwed. So I'm not 100% sure why they moved through, because the gap to the bunch wasn't that big, and it wasn't going out. If anything, I was getting closer and closer to them. So wasn't 100% sure about that decision from the commissaire there. Skipping forward to the final lap, and I'm back at the back of the group. I think there's only like 14 guys left in the peloton with the 8-man break. We're now racing for 9th position. Taking that corner pretty badly again. I don't know what it was. I don't have a clue. what it was, I just couldn't get on the wheel on the exit of that corner. Maybe I was taking too much speed into it, don't know. But yeah, I'm just struggling to get back on the wheel. Now on other laps that wouldn't have been too much of an issue, as you've seen. Maybe like I've had like 2 or 3 people behind me who have closed the gap, or I've been able to kind of like freewheel back into the group as they kind of come down this hill. However, on this lap, on the final lap, I should have been more aware and more, I should have really thought about it, that it's obviously not going to slow down. We're on the last lap, we're going into that final hill, there's going to be attacks flying at the front of the group, and yeah, I'm freewheeling for some reason, not closing the gap like I should be, like I know better than this, but yeah, I think I'm trying to save as much energy as possible, knowing that that final climb is going to be tough, but I never get back into the group, and even though I still have a bit of energy, my heart rate's down at like 155, that's pretty decent, meaning that I should be able to do a decent effort up this climb. I've given the group a massive head start, and it's unlikely that I'm going to be closing that gap to the group, and I didn't. Spoiler alert, I didn't. I managed to catch up to one guy, I didn't come last out of this group, but it wasn't a great end to this race. Though I was very pleased with my performance in what was a very tough and attritional race. There's a couple of times there where I could have just given in and thrown in the towel and stuff. Like even now, look, still trying to get back into that group. I haven't quite given in yet, I think that's something I've tried to work on a lot more this season, is the psychological kind of side of racing, of not throwing in the towel just because it's getting hard, and trying to push through, because you never know, you might get back in, you never know what's going to happen. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.